But here notice, me, singular, whom they pierced, mourn for him, singular, as one mourns for his only son, and grieve for him, singular. It's talking about one specific person who's been pierced. Find me the object of the piercing in this verse, because it's there.
I know what you want to say. I know what you want to say.
Let's assume your people continue in the condition they're in, the way you are. You're not going to repent. So Zechariah 12 will be fulfilled, right? That Messiah, son of Joseph, will be killed. Okay.
Yes. If we're not deserving, that's unfortunately what's going to happen.
Okay. So if you guys continue this path, then Messiah, son of Joseph, will be killed in battle, Gog and Magog. Messiah, son of David, will ask for his life, and God will give it to him. My question to you is this. Where do you come up with two messiahs? Because the rabbis often attack Christians saying, where do you come up with two comings of Messiah? Now I'm going to flip it on you. Number one, Zechariah 12:10. Do you find the word Messiah there?
No, you don't find the word Messiah in Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10.
Okay, but we admit your rabbis like Rashi interprets it about Messiah, right?
Yeah, about Messiah, son of Joseph, yes.
So now you acknowledge that there are passages where there is no reference to the son of David or the king or even the term Messiah, which is rarely used for the king, rarely. But that doesn't mean it's not messianic, right?
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
So I want the Christians to hear, when a rabbi tells you this passage is not about Messiah because it doesn't mention Messiah, you can flip it on them. So thank you for being honest. That's number one.
I would like to just say one thing, interjecting, that there is a difference between a verse that is explicitly talking about the Messiah and a verse that is not explicitly talking about it. And I think that may be the misunderstanding. Where some people will talk as if it's only the ones where it's exclusive to Messiah, son of David, that are relevant. But of course, those that are inclusive of the Messiah, son of David, but which are not explicitly talking about it and are not exclusively talking about him, may in fact also be relevant.
The problem is, this begs the question because you have to already assume whether a text is explicitly messianic or not. For example, Zechariah 12, right here, the one who's pierced, we're not told is Messiah.
True.
You have to read that into it. And number one, now I want you to do me a favor because you read the Hebrew. You see the Hebrew on the text?
Yes.
Can you read it slowly for us? Slowly?
Sure. V'shofachti al beis David, and I will pour out upon the house of David, v'al yoshev Yerushalayim, and on the inhabitants of Jerusalem, ruach chen, a spirit of grace, v'sachanunim, and supplications, v'hibitu Eli, and they shall look to me, eis asher dokoru, because of those who have been thrust through.
You translated plural. It's not plural. They shall look to me.
Eis asher dokoru. Right?
Okay.
That they have pierced. They
have pierced. They have pierced. But you translated those who've been slain as if the pierced are plural. It's not plural. It's singular. They shall look to me.
So it's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say that because the word ace there is no plural form of the word ace. There is no plural form, as in it doesn't exist.
Brother, you're killing me again, brother.
Okay, no, it's true. It's true. You can look it up. There is no plural form of that word.
Take it easy.
Right, of the object marker.
Brother,
there is
no, the object. That's all. The object marker. I know what the. Well, you pronounce it ace anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, et on the thing there.
Yeah, I know. Okay. This is singling out the object of the piercing.
Yes.
Who is the one pierced? Whom they pierced. Who is the one pierced?
The person that it's talking about in the verses coming up to this.
So, but that then even your rabbi says it's it's Messiah, son of Joseph, meaning
Yeah.
one specific person, right? It's not plural, right?
Yes.
So that's all I'm saying.
Sorry,
That
sorry,
the
what?
one they pierced is singular, right? The one that guy they pierced,
No,
right?
hold on a second. Hold on a second. You're confusing me for a second. Hold on. You're saying what are you saying? What?
Friend, who are you talking to anyway? Is
I'm
there
not
someone?
talking to anyone. No one here.
Let's try this again. They shall look on me, the object marker, whom they pierced. Who did they pierce?
No, I don't think that's I don't think that's accurate. I don't think
You
that's
better believe it's accurate.
no.
Because that's why here, even in your commentary, you refer to a person, not persons, Messiah, son of Joseph.
Right.
And is Messiah, son of Joseph, several or one individual?
The Messiah, son of Joseph, is one person. However, as I was saying before, and I should have been more clear about this, is that since this does not explicitly mention a Messiah or the Messiah, son of Joseph, so what does it mean when we say that this verse is talking about him? What we mean is that he's included in the verse, i.e., there's more than one person, right? There's a war going on here. Lots and lots of people have been killed, and he's one of them. He's fallen in battle. Yeah, so amongst everyone, so they're really mourning about everyone, but they're also mourning. They're also mourning more specifically about him because he was the military leader. So he's an individual that is part of the collective whole.
Okay. Now, see, I didn't cut you off because if I cut you off, they're going to say I was being rude. No, friend. The verb pierced, okay, they pierced. That's why you have the et here. It's telling you who was pierced. This, I know what you were going to tell me, but see, again, because I didn't want you to accuse me. See, Sam is rude. He cuts me off. So, brother, I've heard your arguments. I'm letting you make it. So when I then rein you in, cut you off, say, no, friend. They pierced, the one pierced, right? This is what the object marker is. The one pierce is me. That's what the object marker does. It singles out the object of the piercing. I may look stupid. I'm not as stupid as I look. On me, whom they pierced. The piercing right here is identified by the object marker, and the object marker points back to the me. So who got pierced?
No, it doesn't make sense to say it goes back on the me.
That's what the object marker does, buddy.
No, the object marker doesn't mean that it goes back onto the me. The object marker is saying they're going to look to me. Object marker, right?
No, which the object marker is
the object marker is the object of the pierce, right? Because the punctuation, right?
Whom,
right?
They pierced. Who's the whom they pierced?
All of the people.
Everyone
that they pierced in the war.
There's no one mentioned.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to mention them because it's a war.
Yes, it does.
It's obvious.
Josh, brother, you're going to make me do right. I'm now going to call the expositor to show that you guys are desperate. You even have to deny the plain reading of the Hebrew. Do you want me now to bring up all the scholars to say
it's not the plain reading?
I mean, I can do that, but I don't want to do that because you're not going to accept my authorities when I quote it. This is why I said even Rashi says it's referring to an individual, not a group. Then you have to explain away. Yeah, but he's one among a group. No, but then I said, okay, but let's go back to the object marker. The object marker singles out that the one pierce is the me. Now you don't want, I mean, if I give you the grammar, it's not good enough. If I give you the rabbis, it's not good enough. So if I give you expositors, it's not good because you've made up your mind. That's okay.
No, the object marker is not the object marker is not saying that the one that they're looking to is the one that they've been pierced. That's not what the object marker does.
In this context, it does. Yes, you're wrong. Here, I'm going to show it to you. See, this is why you're going to force me to waste 2 hours, and then after 2 hours, you're going to say, "Okay, you're right." So that's what you did last time. Okay, hold on.
No, not true.
All right, let's read. Guys, an exegetical commentary, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi by Eugene H. Merrill, M. PhD, Zechariah. Okay, let's see. See, I was hoping we'd avoid this, but that's okay. In this disputed section, the majority of the Hebrew manuscripts read, Now, forgive me for butchering the Hebrew. I don't speak English well. وَهِبْتُ إِلَّي et ashir dakaru. They will look to me, the one they have pierced through. A few however read. See, now this is another question. You have few manuscripts that turn the إِلَّي into plural. إِلَّي, meaning them, to the one whom, etc., employing the poetic form of the preposition. Other Hebrew manuscripts, however, reflect the vorlage that requires a rendering. They will look on me in place of him whom they have pierced. So it's, guys, if you don't understand what he's talking about, and the Hebrew manuscripts, they have variant readings. All manuscripts have variant readings, as well as the Masoretic text. The end result that it is not Yahweh who is pierced with someone else. So what they're telling you is some of the manuscripts, again, I want him to pay attention. The majority of the Hebrew manuscripts read this way. They will look to me, the one whom they pierced. Few of the manuscripts where you had the Masoretes, the Jewish scribes, they then marked it differently so that it wouldn't be God being pierced. The fact that they change it shows they saw a problem like he's seeing. Clearly, the notion of Yahweh being subjected to such a highly anthropomorphic conception was more than some devout scribes could countenance. The Hebrew evidence overwhelmingly favors the traditional reading of the Masoretic. There is no textual reason for rejecting the reading. They will look to me, the one they have pierced through. The difficulty lies, therefore, in the hermeneutical and theological aspects of the question. As to the former, the passage clearly teaches that Yahweh, the speaker throughout, in the absence of clues to the contrary, having poured out the spirit of grace leading to the people's supplication, will be seen by them as having been pierced by them. They pierced Yahweh. That's the clear meaning of the Hebrew and the object marker. But even this scholar is not good enough. Okay, this will cause the people to break out and lament for him, the one over whom they will grieve as they would over the death of a firstborn son. It is immediately apparent that the shift in pronoun from they will look to me to they will lament for him is at the crux of the matter. Him, and it goes on and even shows you it's singular, but it's okay. If Yahweh has been pierced through, who is the him who's being lamented? Or to put it another way, why should the lament not be for Yahweh, the one who has been pierced through? It is questions like these, of course, that gave rise to the textual options adduced above. And I'm going to explain what he means, Josh, in a minute. The most satisfying resolution, it seems, is to admit of a change in pronoun as a grammatical stylistic feature with a change of subject. Now, what that means for you guys is that God will often speak of himself in the first person and in third person. Me and him. Come up to Yahweh. Come up to me. That is, it is Yahweh throughout who's describing situation, and it is he who's the subject at every point. It is he who has been pierced, and he whom his people, having come to their senses as to what they have done, mourn in repentance. From Yahweh's viewpoint, it is me that is the focus. From the standpoint of the people, it is him, which now destroys your plural, because we didn't finish the rest of the verse, which I'll get there. Such a transition from one person to another is not at all uncommon in Hebrew composition, especially in poetic and prophetic language. So, guys, I can quote a dozen more scholars. They agree with me, saying I'm right. He knows I'm right, but he doesn't want to accept it. But now to show you I'm right, and you're going to have to admit it, okay, I'm going to show you this. Okay, watch here. Let's read the rest of it, because you said it's plural, right? Okay, now, they shall look to me because of those who have been thrust to, and they shall mourn over it. Is that a singular or a plural?
That is a singular. V'sofadu olov.
Okay, it's singular, right? And then mourn over an only son.
As one mourns over an only son. Al hayochid, yeah.
Okay, so you see now why it's not plural, because all throughout it's speaking of a singular entity. Are you going to deny that too? So I have to read the scholar again.
No, it's quite easy for me to say that yes, it's written in the singular, but it can refer to collective wholes.
Okay, so you admit it's singular, right?
We know that this this is something that happens. We know that this is
so,
something.
Hold on, you admit it's singular, right?
I of course I admit that it's written in the singular. Okay. It's quite clear.
For the people who don't see it, you see it says, because he's trying to say it's a group. But here notice, me, singular, whom they pierce, mourn for him, singular. as one mourns for his only son, and grieve for him, singular. It's talking about one specific person who's been pierced. So now I'm going to ask you again. Find me the object of the piercing in this verse, because it's there. Find it, because you have to find a text. Find it for me. Here, let me enlarge it for you. It's there, buddy. See, this is why. See, now, guys, why am I letting him talk? Because if I cut him off, see, we don't like to talk to Sammy. The reason why I cut people off because they go on tangents. I don't like to go on tangents. I like to get to the point. So now I can bring back the Hebrew for you here because I gave it to them who can't read Hebrew. Find me the him that was pierced, because he's in the passage. Find me the object. It's there. Tell me who it is.
I know what you want to say. I know what you want to say.
Oh my goodness, Josh, you're killing me, dude.
Look.
Okay. All right. All right, we can stop there. We can go to other prophecies, but
no, hold on.
Right.
Just wait a minute. I need to think for a second.
All right.
Just hold on.
Holding on. I'm not going anywhere.
Good.
All right.
Think.
All right. As you're reading the Hebrew, I'm going to show them the English transliteration, because unlike some of you guys, we have to base on because we suck. Anyway, so here it is for the rest of you guys. Here, I gave you the link there. And I will pour out the house of David, okay, on me. He said it's singular, so we don't need to argue that. But who's the me? Whom they pierce. Yes, they'll mourn for him, singular, not them. Him, singular, right? As one mourns for an only son, Yachid, and grieve for him, singular. So there's only one who's being pierced here. One. But that means whoever that one is, you're going to find him in the passage. That's what the et is for. It's the object marker telling you who got pierced. He knows it. He knows I'm telling the truth. But he understands the problem. He understands the problem. He knows it.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm holding on.
Still thinking.
All right. But now, what's ironic? Notice what Chabad did, guys. Notice the Hebrew is clear. He admitted. Look at Chabad. Watch. This is this is why you got to learn these arguments, because the rabbis say, you Christians, you mistranslate the Hebrew Bible. Okay, guys, watch what they did with verse 10. Watch. And I'll pour out upon the house of David, upon the inhabitants of the spirit of grace and supplication. They shall look to me because of those who have been thrust through. They change it to plural. And they shall mourn over it. They didn't even say over him. And we're the ones mistranslating the Hebrew. We're the ones mistranslating the Hebrew. No, not you rabbis. No, never you. No, you guys are so, yeah.
Okay. I've come up with what I'm going to say.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you say.
It is true to say that ace is usually the object marker. However, ace asher is actually a phrase in its own right. And if we go to other places, such as 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 23, then we can see that even Christian translations do not translate the phrase ace asher as they have done so here, in which ace is translated very literally as an object marker, and asher is then whom or that.
What has that got to do with in the context I just told you?
Because because over there in 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 23, it says, and David said, you will not do so, my brothers, concerning that which the Lord has given us. In the Christian translations, in the KJV, it translates ace asher as with that which.
Okay.
Instead, right?
You understand which one you said for Samuel?
1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 23.
Okay, now, buddy, I'm going to show you some what you missed again. I don't think you're getting the point because that didn't help your case. So you had to do a search to see where you can find et Ashir. Okay, but did you even hear what you just said? Okay, watch here. Then David said, "You must not do so, my brothers, with that which Yahweh's given us." Okay, so you're saying with what, right?
Yes. So you can put in the word with there because ace
That's,
often means with.
but that still tells you that you're going to have to now find in the context what Yahweh has given them. What has he given them?
Why does he need to give them something? What?
Because he just said, "You must not do so, my brothers, with what Yahweh's given us, who has kept us and given into our hand the band that came against us." Because with what, again, is going to now point out the object of this what. You need to read earlier. It's there. The spoil. So now, in the context, it still has to point back to the object that's found in the verse. And it's there. It's the spoil.
Yes.
Okay, so now you didn't help your case.
No,
because-
it does help because what it means that you can it means that and it justifies the Chabad's translation.
No, it doesn't.
But because the ace doesn't have a fixed thing here. You can put in because of, right? You can put in
my brother in humanity. You just made my case because et Ashir means it's going to point to the object, and you have to find the object previously, like I did in 1 Samuel, and it's right there, the me. You made my case, and you're not seeing it. This is what's killing me. Even the example you get, the et Ashir, meant that it's going to point out the object that will be there in the context, and I found it. So right here, who is the object of the et Ashir? It's the me. It's there, saying, "Hello, I'm here."
Why is it? Why is it the me? That's what I'm not getting. Why is it the me?
Because you're going to have to find it somewhere here, right? Okay, find it earlier. Where is it going to be? Is it the Spirit of grace they pierced?
No.
So who got pierced? The nearest object is me.
I've already said the people in the war got pierced.
No, because it goes back and shows you that it's a him, and that's why they mourn for him as if he's a son that was killed.
And the people are referred to as a collective whole. This happens all the time.
Oh, so that's good. Now, because now I'm going to flip that on you later. When we see God is spoken of as a singular, I'm going to say it's a collective whole for the Trinity. You don't.
We're not having a discussion about the Trinity.
No, I'm saying
last week.
No, actually, we are, because here it ties in with Messiah. Say it again.
That's not.
No, I'm saying it does relate because you said this is the Messiah, whereas actually it's God who's being pierced. So you just admit Messiah is God.
I didn't say it's the Messiah. I said it's a Messiah, specifically Messiah, son of Joseph. When I say, I preface this at the beginning, when I say the Messiah, I'm talking about Messiah, son of David, because that's the.
Now, can you show me? And I'm going to show you a rabbi telling you that this division, there was at one time that both Messiah, son of Joseph, son of David, they were collapsed in one and the same identity. And I'm going to quote to you Rabbi Emmanuel Shochet. We'll get there. I promise you, Josh, we'll get there.